This video is going to go over who I am not, and who this channel and my videos might be meant for. So my name is Jackie. I am an award-winning artist. I have volunteered for Big Brothers, Big Sisters, the Vitae Society, veterans groups. What I have done in the past to help people is I've done group art therapy. I've done one-to-one art sessions, and I had a little sister in the Big Brother, Big Sister community for a while. I do have an altruistic thread that's kind of woven through all these years of experience in doing freelance projects, trying to help others, and using my art and my volunteer to kind of mesh to help someone who might be suffering and who might not have access to the help they need. So it's almost like a triage landing place. That's what I am. My mother, she was 15 when she left home, and she had very good reasons to run from home. She was probably a genius. I wish she would have taken some sort of test to validate her intellect. She was the most inspirational, intelligent human being I've ever had a conversation with, and what I would give to talk to her right now as I'm starting off my new business, it would be priceless to talk to her. But she was tough, and I hope to get a little bit tougher because I want to help people. And if someone has a problem with that, you are more than welcome to skip by this video. Or if you're still a little bit skeptical and you're wanting to know, well, who are you? Who do you think you are? I'm going to go over who I am not. I am not a therapist. I am not an astronaut. I am not a neuroscientist. I've never built a home. I have never flown a plane, and I've never jumped out of a plane yet. I would like to do that. That's a bucket list. With my art over the years, what I have done is full-scale, full-wall murals. I've done smaller murals, chalkboard murals, business, residential, and I've even done events. I did hike and draw in Colorado, which was a lot of fun. When you're an artist, you don't really have a set career path. So what I have done over the last maybe 7 years or so is I have followed spiritual breadcrumbs, and whatever excited me, kept me engaged. If I got feedback right away from people like, wow, this is really cool, this is great, the only thing I asked of them was, can you leave a comment? Can you give me some sort of testimonial? Just so I could build up credibility with people who may not understand what I do or what I'm trying to do. As the road narrows, and when you're a person of faith and you're on a road and you're not quite sure what to do next, I started to shed some of the freelance projects I was doing so I could hone in on who I could potentially help. And the fact that I've gone over 20 years without drinking, I quit smoking, I quit prescription pills, all of these things that our Western society either embraces or promotes as some sort of solution. I shed all of that so I could come to someone who may be struggling with those issues and say, listen, this is how I did it. And if you want to ask me questions about it, I'd be happy to help. I feel that if more people would take what they did and really excelled at it, and then freely gave it back to society and said, this is what I did, and you can try my path or you can try another path, we would be stronger as humanity. I was going to say as a country, but I think this is a worldwide problem we have. That angsty, not knowing where to go, who you can help. We all have innate gifts. And my mother, who had dropped out of high school, she ended up homeschooling some of us kids back in the 1970s, where if someone drove by, we literally had to kind of duck down in the backyard so we wouldn't be reported as truant. And, I understand they want clarification, they want validation. I had that validation because when we did go into the public school system, we were required to take tests to prove our educational abilities. And I remember that test I took. It was a state standardized test that I had ranked in 11th grade learning level as an 8 or a 9-year-old. So that was validation that the way my mother taught me was far more impactful than what I would have had as just another student in a classroom. So my hope is to take what I've learned over 20 years and narrow down my focus of who I can and who I can't help, and say, this is what I did. Feel free to use what I've done. Or if you're an artist and you're someone who's looking for a hobby and you want to learn how to draw, or you're tired of Netflix and doom scrolling, you need to replace a bad habit with a good habit. And the good habit that I keep pushing people towards or guiding them to is art. If you have a physical sketchbook in your hand, you're not working on a masterpiece. You're only doing what the eye, hand, and brain need to do, which is practicing, honing your skills. And the really cool thing about that is when you're not worried about the outcome, you're not worried about making a masterpiece. When you're focusing on drawing whatever you want, whatever kind of appeals to you, the brain taps into deeper levels of cognition. So you've taken this fight or flight, dopamine addicted kind of nervous center of the brain, and you're actually tapping it into creativity and higher thinking. So that's what I am. That's what I'm doing. And if you'd like to join me, I made Recovery Sketchbook. And it's for anyone who wants to learn art. There is no fee. I'm doing this for free. I'm giving away all I've learned over 20 years so that people can tap into more peace. We all need more peace. So again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a neuroscientist. I'm an artist. Thanks.